Hello once again, everybody, and thanks for tuning into another edition of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get into this week's show, of course, a shout out to our sponsors who help us bring the show to you for free each and every week on whichever platform you choose to listen. Thanks to Angelo's Pizza. They're always there for us at our live events so that we can feed you guys. If you love their award-winning pizza, you're going to love all of their other dishes as well. Check out Angelo's Pizza on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. Thanks, of course, to Pollyanna DIY, who makes all sorts of customized memorabilia. I don't know what else. I don't want to say paraphernalia. That's got a negative connotation, I guess. But
wrestling paraphernalia?
Yeah. They do some awesome things, pins and T-shirts that kind of give you a throwback feel and style.
I haven't got them yet, but we are supposed to, for this Friday, have some special D'Lo Brown pins, which have a bobbling head.
That's right. Yes. You held a... didn't you do like a little poll asking people about this? Or we teased it somehow, I think.
No, I just sent it to you guys. We had two different versions.
Oh, that's right. That was just the group. That was the board
We
chat.
had two different possible designs. And
that was the famed board of directors chat. So thanks to Pollyanna DIY for those. You'll be able to pick them up on Friday.
Hopefully. They're not in my hand. They're not in my hand yet.
Okay, fair enough. So hopefully we have them there for you guys to purchase on Friday.
Better overnight that shit, Jake.
And thanks to Smart Mark Video, who takes care of all of our video recording needs, including anytime that we stream live on Fight TV like we are this Friday. That all happens through Smart Mark Video. So check them out. Our shows from the past.
Order that up.
Of others.
Order that up on this Friday. Fight TV.
Yeah.
This is going to be the hard sell episode.
smartmarkvideo.com or smvod.com to watch it on demand. And this show, it will end up being on smvod.com as well.
Correct, yeah. But we are going to go live on Fight this Friday night for $12.99.
That's a bargain.
And, you know, these live shows, I've said it a zillion times, they bring so much more stress, but I feel like they really, I don't know, like the pressure just, it's a good pressure, you know, but, and so far, thankfully, we have hit the goals that have been set for us as far as sales and expectations and things like that. And, you know, it's nothing crazy, but, you know,
it's realistic.
If we could do 30,000 buys on Friday, that would be sick.
You just reminded
be our lifestyle.
Just reminded me that I got to hit up old Matt there at the Odeon that handles all the lighting stuff, because apparently got a new lighting system even. So we might get a little crazier.
Hopefully we can brighten it up a little more.
That's in discussion as well. We're going to try to figure some things out there. But also, as we talk about streaming, make sure you sign up for independentwrestling.tv. You can watch all sorts of shows from the AIW archives as well as other promotions. Sign up if you haven't yet using code ABSOLUTE. Get a free 20-day trial to watch everything, and then stick around because you're going to love it. So make sure you use the code ABSOLUTE. Once again, independentwrestling.tv.
Hopefully they're going to love it.
I mean, I'm banking on them loving the AIW archives at the very least, but there's all sorts of
there's some bad stuff
cool things on there.
There's some bad stuff.
There is some bad stuff.
There's some good stuff though.
There's some good stuff on there too.
It's a mixed bag, really.
Yeah. Well, so we are going live again from Fight TV. You mentioned the lighting, and that's an interesting thing. I know. I just want to discuss that real quick. Well, I guess before we get into that, I should tell you who we're talking to here.
Savio was really on me about the lighting, you know.
It gives you, the crowd loves that feel, but I understand watching it at home, you want it to be a little bit brighter, so it's like we're trying to find that balance.
Gary hates the lighting.
Gary hates it, yeah.
Gary wants the Mount Carmel lighting back.
Yeah, well, it takes a little something away when all the lights are on. We'll figure it out. We're going to get it figured out.
I do like the, you know, I do think there's something romantic about the way Mount Carmel was. That was like a true blue independent wrestling feel, you know.
Yeah.
And like the Odeon it has a lot of bells and whistles, and which I also like. You know, I've come to love
the AIW arena.
But I was very hesitant to go to the Odeon. The Odeon's been coming after us for several years, and there's been through several different I don't know, booking agents, so to speak, general managers.
So it's a good partnership thus far.
I just secured more dates through 2020 there. So
2020, the year of AIW, I guess. The year of Cleveland.
It's our year. Our year.
I think it's the year of Cleveland. AIW. I think the Browns, that's 2020 is going to be the year.
I don't know. They didn't look too good last week,
they're going to get it together. Frankie's last year. Anyway, before we go too deep into this
Flint's?
episode, we should probably let you know who we have on here. Because we are joined, even though you have not heard his voice yet, by the one and only Maserati, Wesley Presley, Wes Barkley.
Yes,
himself.
sir. Wow, what an introduction. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And
Hard Sell Monday. We're here. We're live.
Here we are, Hard Sell Monday.
Odeon 2020.
And, of course, as always,
AIW 2020. It's our year.
AIW owner John Thorne.
Catch up. Don't be like some mustard. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not a condiment guy.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
AIW owner John Thorne here, as always. And, of course, my name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts. Is that our new hashtag? AIW 2020? It's our year.
I like it.
It's our year.
It might be. You know,
For the brand's taking.
this is.
I try to put doing it for the brand out there.
I think you run into a little problems. I'm thinking more of a slogan for AIW in 2020 is nervously and overly prepared.
There it is.
That's a long hashtag.
Yes. Overly
Maybe make it an
prepared
acronym.
is my plan for 2020. We'll see. You know, I'm giving out full-time contracts, as you guys heard before we turned on the recorder. Fonzie's in through 2020.
That's right, Daddy.
Fonzie for 2020.
I extended his contract through 2020.
There's the hashtag.
Fonzie
2020.
unfortunately will not be there this Friday because he had a prior commitment in which he did try to cancel, and I told him do not.
Right.
He's got a triple shot in the Northeast area coming up this weekend with conventions and various other appearances, and he said, you know, I could call him and I could cancel it, Daddy, you know, because I'm a team player. You gave me a full-time contract, so, you know, and I was like, Fonzie, just go make your money, man. You know?
That's my guy, Fonzie.
I love Fonzie.
If you're not following Fonzie yet on social media, make sure you are. We're trying to help him get all these followers, and we did a pretty good job, I think. Within like 24 hours, he doubled followers the one day. And
we do have a podcast coming up with him.
Yes.
I don't know when I'm going to release it. It's going to be in the next few weeks, though. Maybe next week. I don't know. But I figured we would kind of break up the JLIT weekend reviews this week, and we'll just chat. We could just chat. Hard Sell Monday.
Hard
That's
Sell
what's
Monday.
Up. Coffee talk.
Well,
Hard Sell Monday. Whatever you want to call it.
Since we are sitting here, and we're going to be at the Odeon this Friday.
Oh yeah.
You seem awfully calm here, Wes Barkley, because
You got to put the spot on me off rip.
Off the rip.
You didn't even say it's live on Fight TV.
Well, we talked about it before.
Well, guess what? It's
introduced-
live on Fight TV. If you can't make it to Cleveland.
Live on Fight TV.
Exactly.
You just found out when this was posted.
Yeah.
You're in a no DQ match with Nick Gage.
I thought we ended it at Wrestle Rager, which we'll get to. You know, we'll get to a different day. But you hear that? Did you hear that clanging and banging?
Whiskers does.
That
got her attention.
is my gold watch. I still got it. I'm sure everybody listening to this saw the promo. Nick Gage calling me out. Said, hey, me and Filthy Tom, we're coming for Rip City. We're coming for you guys. Maserati West, you're, explicit terms. And he said, I'm coming for that watch, the gold watch. Well, I still got it. But now, this Friday, I guess no DQ, anything goes. I thought it was a regular match. Then all of a sudden, I see the graphic. No DQ, anything goes.
Yeah.
I guess this is it. I don't know what Wadsworth's doing. I don't know what management's doing.
I think you forgot that you agreed to this when we were at that weird Janela Palooza party at Starcast.
The Blue Chews.
Yeah,
the Blue Chews got to me.
That's what it was.
Oh, that was it. Damn it. Okay, well, I guess I accepted it there. But this Friday, I mean, I'm still keeping this watch, and you can bet on that.
Are you going to be like Odell Beckham and wear your watch?
I might just have to.
While you're competing?
Just have to. See, I don't know what I'm going to wear because I wore the jeans and whatnot to Wrestle Rager, and that was anything goes. Now it's at the Odeon, live this Friday. If you can't make it, Fight TV. And, I mean, Nick Gage, he's unpredictable.
Just in case, think of it like this. What would you want to be buried in?
Oh, what? Okay, if we're talking facts and facts, look, everything I say is facts, because opinions, everyone's got them, the saying, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I speak out of facts. And I Can I get a fact check here? I
Uh-huh.
pinned Nick
Yeah.
Gage.
Twice.
No, just
What
just
show was
once.
it?
When did I beat him twice?
Did you
First
not-
time it was at Sakamoto takes Cleveland.
You didn't pin him
Main
at Rager?
event. They
You
call
didn't
me-
pin him at Rager.
No, they
That's true.
lost.
They lost. You lost.
Allegedly,
Ooh, yeah.
I heard Tom
You lost.
Lawler.
You
tapping
did
out,
lose.
but
You
that's
did
a different
lose.
story.
Yeah.
We haven't covered those
Yeah,
yet.
when I
know what I
locked
was
in the
thinking.
figure 4 Lamborghini leg lock, I heard him tapping, but that's a different story. We'll get to it. But Sakamoto takes Cleveland. Main event, Rip City Shooters with Donst. The main event, let me get that. The main event, 1, 2, 3. Wes Barkley pinning Nick Gage. That's me. I'm talking in third person.
Tim Donst texted me the other day. He said, "Hey, this is Tim Donst. He thinks I deleted his phone number.
Just gotta stay in rotation, I guess, right?
I didn't delete your phone number,
Donnie.
Donst."
But yeah, so I
it's
beat.
okay.
So I'm nervous because he did throw me into barbed wire and busted me open with said barbed wire, and I still have some flashbacks about Wrestle Rager. I'm not gonna lie.
Is Bob Barkley coming?
This Friday?
Yeah.
I think so. At the same time, he said he's gonna have a watch party.
He's got
Watch party and Fight
He
TV.
said he wanted to have a Fight TV watch party. Have all his friends over.
Bob
he might be
Bar-
flying in from Cali. What's going on?
Bob Barkley's got a custom AIW shirt. He's very proud of.
It's the Ed Hardy style. You know what I mean?
It's like a bleached.
It's the bleach job, man. Come
It's got a
on.
bleach job on it.
I gotta find a way to get mine. Like,
Well,
like
I'll
it.
talk to
I
him.
like it. It's a big
I'll
deal.
talk to him. Ed Hardy, Fred Hardy, I think is who made it from.
He stopped me at Wrestle Rager. He said, "Everyone's asking me about my shirt, man."
Yeah, I'm sure
They do look great. They look great. They're gonna go. It would go nicely with a D'Lo Brown bobblehead pin on there.
I'm hoping they're ready for
doesn't
Friday.
come
If they're ready, little surprise. Everyone that has a front row ringside ticket is gonna get one
Ooh,
for no charge.
that's
Ooh,
awesome.
How about that?
that's a
Little
deal.
secret prize for
We
everybody.
can't
There it
give
is.
you the chairs, but we will give you
and if they're not
a little
made,
present like that.
you ain't getting nothing. Sorry.
Hey.
We tried.
So to
Wow.
finish to tie it all up, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I suppose it did.
You're gonna have to watch this Friday Fight TV. I hope it's on Fight TV.
It is on Fight
Well,
TV.
I'm just saying, but I hope if you don't go, you watch this on Fight TV because a lot of people say this and that about me. Oh, he's a manager. He's this. He sucks. He's not good. I already stated I pinned Nick Gage, and this Friday I'm showing why. We're only like 10 minutes into this podcast, and I'm dropping facts right here. This is Friday. I'm showing
Yeah.
you why I'm the best professional wrestler on earth. And if I'm not, Josh Bishop is. And you can bet on that.
All right. Well, fair enough.
No DQ. Who cares?
There it is.
There it is. No DQ. Who cares? Phew, my goodness.
We've had a summer though. We've had a very busy summer,
We really have.
and I wrote a blog on Patreon last week about how busy the summer was. And
You
how,
blogged one, huh?
Yeah, I did a blog, B-log as they call it,
Nice.
and
Oh, I got to
Yeah,
give you
it's-
guys credit on this, too, because we're talking about the summer.
yeah.
The 4th of July episodes, you guys, I'm not even trying to be like this because I do not like this drink, but you guys made White Claw cool.
I'm over it already. I'm done.
feel
And
like
that's
we
what
did.
I'm saying.
I'm done.
We made AIW as a brand. We made White Claws cool. It's over now. Summer's over. People are still drinking it. We'll talk.
Now it's on to the gin and tonics.
Yes, sir.
Only for the
Keep it
fall.
clear.
For
Keep
the
it
fall.
clear, brother.
It all depends on who sponsors us. But
We don't have any sponsors.
yeah, we got
Pollyanna DIY, dude.
Get some money.
That's what we got. Sponsor
What the
us.
hell was I gonna say? Oh, speaking of the Patreon, rumor has it that there's a secret match that happened. Is that
Well,
gonna
we're
be
not-
on the Patreon?
We're not discussing that yet. It's
Okay.
far away from being ready. So
Oh, far away.
it's far away from being ready.
Cut this part out then.
No, it's going. But yeah, there's something that happened, and it's
Rumors.
I don't know. We'll
There are
see.
rumors.
Keep an eye on the Patreon. It's gonna drop one of these days.
Wow. All right. So
Sans ring death fight.
Wow.
speaking of
Damn.
wild matches, here's one that we had planned before All Out even happened. We wanted Britt Baker to have her final AIW match, and thought, who the hell do we have it with? You get Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah. So I would have probably cut off 2 of my fingers if I had that graphic ready to go when they were fighting in that battle royal. It was, I've been trying to get Britt in for one last date for a while. And there was a lot of questions after the concussion and all that stuff. If she was even going to be permitted to do any more independent dates. So on top of that, I had been reaching out to various different female talents. And I landed on Mercedes Martinez, who I've tried to book a few times over the years, and it's never worked out. So, I booked her. However, Britt was not officially cleared to take our date yet. So it was Mercedes Martinez versus, and I hadn't, I was going to have to figure that out when we got there.
Yeah.
I was banking on Britt being able to do it. But they were very concerned about the concussion, and she had to go through a lot of different processes to get cleared by several different doctors.
Of course.
AEW did do their due diligence with that, and she had to go, fly to different places and get checked out by specialists, and Chris Nowinski was involved, and it was very serious business. But she was finally cleared to do it. Whatever day I announced the match was the day that she officially was allowed to take the booking. But it was a few days after All Out, and I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect right now.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I just hope people connect the dots if this is the match that, that we could do. Cause, Britt was nice enough to have myself and Wes Barkley out for All Out. So we were there, we were there live, and I was like, man, this is, she didn't give me any sort of indication that Mercedes Martinez was even there or booked.
Really?
So it was a legitimate shock for me.
She was the last one to come out too.
Got a great reaction too.
Oh yeah, they went nuts there.
So, which I will say this, I've had my, I don't know if you want to call them doubts, but I've had my, I can't even think of the word. My reservations about AEW. And being there live, it was like a whole different world. It was like a world I've never seen before. And
it was something.
It was such a different presentation than what I've seen on television.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's because there's no commentary or, there was no weird cuts or production issues, but live people were so fucking into it. So into it.
At the moment, you think it's a better live product than televised then? At least
from my perspective, yeah, because I could only go off what you watch, and then you see the Twitter reactions of people not liking this and not liking that, or liking this too much. But live, people were going nuts for everything, loved everything. And we were sitting by this guy, and he's like, yeah, I travel to every AEW show that they've had so far. But he also had no knowledge of independent wrestling whatsoever.
No clue.
Knew nothing about independent wrestling at all.
That's so weird. Where did you?
It's
wonder
this,
where he.
It's
even
this
finds
weird
out about it.
It's this weird kind of sub audience or whatever that's in between, mainstream and independent wrestling.
Okay.
Which I found very interesting that they're maybe they are accomplishing their goal of finding
that
fans
lost audience
or whatever.
Yeah.
Because this guy was I fly all over the country. I went to Jacksonville.
Right.
I went to Vegas.
I think he said he had TV show tickets too. He was going to go that Wednesday.
Yeah, he's I'm going to DC
go to every week, but
but he's I've gone to every show that they've had so far, and we were talking about independent wrestling, and he was had no fucking idea about anything.
Wow, and benefit of the doubt for them too. This is all from a televised standpoint. This is
but
all
it hasn't been yet.
They don't even have the full TNT production
Twitter
crew with everything. It's just whatever's been.
So that was that was
pay-per-view.
That was kind of a very interesting way to end. Summer's not technically over, but
Summer
it's technically
ends on Saturday. One last party Friday night at the Odeon. Folks.
But Labor Day always feels like it's the end of summer.
Does, right? Yeah.
So that was a very interesting way to
make sure you don't wear white, Wesley.
Spend. Yeah.
I might wear all white, brother.
Oh no,
I do what I want.
That's all right.
So yeah, that's that was a little tidbit on what we did Labor Day weekend, which was
shout out to Britt. Thanks again for the tickets.
Yeah, it was
DMD.
It was a good trip.
Yeah, it was an
Interesting trip.
It was interesting because I didn't decide to go until like Friday afternoon.
Right.
So we
How were the parties?
I mean,
Patreon exclusive.
yeah.
What was Joe? Did Joey do a brunch?
No, he did like an after party.
Yeah.
An after
after
party?
the show
With
at the
Tone with
hotel.
Tone Loc performing, which was super weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Man, I love me some Tone Loc.
Yeah, just saying everyone else's songs though.
He didn't even do his own.
He's
He
got
did his
two.
too, yeah.
Name me two other Tone Loc songs.
So he did Wild Thing and Funky
Yeah.
Cold Medina.
Yeah.
100%.
You're good to go. Yeah.
And then he did like
he did a song.
There it is.
He did a song on the Ace Ventura soundtrack. I don't remember
yeah.
what the name of it is.
He did Whoop, There It Is. He
Yep.
did, other like early 90s hits that weren't
Sure.
his.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It was very strange. Blue Chew was flying
Blue
everywhere.
Chew was everywhere. And you couldn't look anywhere without seeing a Blue Chew ad.
See, Alley Cat not going through a table.
Missed that. I punched out before that
My
that
goodness.
happened.
Talking about White Claw. My goodness.
That girl is something else. We
Somebody needs that fat to end.
yeah, we Wes and I had since we went out there with no notice, we had no accommodations.
We were running and gunning.
So,
So wait, yeah, I did see this. Did you sleep in Hornswoggle's hotel room the first night?
Friday night, yes, which was a
Was
fucking
your son there?
yeah, landed. Yeah,
Landon was there.
Who's Sean?
we called down.
Okay, all right. That's what I was wondering.
I had Landon-
Poor Landon.
I had Landon call down and make sure there's a breakfast buffet available because it was a fancy hotel.
Yep.
And I said, Landon, they usually got breakfast down there. I said, I bet you fucking Sting's down there eating some scrambled eggs. Call down there.
Stinger bopping around.
Sting was not bopping around.
No Steve Borden, huh?
No, Scott Hall was, though.
All right.
But, so Swoggle had a fucking, it was a hotel room that was bigger than my old apartment. It was so big.
Yeah.
This guy
Future bestseller, dude.
got the fucking
Only the
red
best
carpet.
accommodations.
Right.
No, Conrad got this guy the red carpet treatment. I'm telling you, it was we could have slept 20 in this little room
For sure.
easily. It was that big. But he was leaving Saturday because it wasn't that far of a drive back to Oshkosh.
Right.
So
Yeah, he left early.
yeah, he was going to sign Saturday and then leave early. So we were without
And we had a
place to
night
stay.
Friday.
Yeah, we didn't get back till like 5 in the morning on Friday. So we didn't get much sleep, and we didn't have anywhere to go Saturday night.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Alex Zane and Mance Warner let us into this gigantic suite in which they had commandeered.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
had cots galore, and
It was. And McDonald's.
lots of McDonald's bags everywhere. But
That sounds about right for old Manser.
He had his own little room.
yeah, he had his fucking Aldi's bag of food or something.
Yeah.
But
Old Manser doesn't need large, lavish accommodations.
But yeah, we got tipped off to this free place to sleep. So
Should we talk about the tickets?
we took off before Alley Cat got thrown through that table. 'Cause
Right.
We had to, it was sleep there or in the rental car. So
Yeah.
Ah.
But Friday when we were getting those tickets.
that was weird.
Yeah, that was a situation.
Yeah, we had to go to the AEW hotel to get the tickets, and there was just
Everyone.
it was strange.
a lot of familiar faces.
A lot of familiar
Yeah.
faces. Yeah.
Yep.
So
New team, familiar face.
yeah, it was. It's an exciting time for a lot of people that have come through AIW. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And got to see BJ Whitmer for a long time, which was
Oh, it's great.
which was cool. All Jacksonville Jaguared up. He was.
He was in this Jags gear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Raided. He must have raided the fucking Khan's closet or something.
But see, BJ is a longtime Indianapolis Colts fan.
Well, not no more, pal.
They're in the same division.
Not no more, pal.
Oh my goodness.
Colts ain't signing those checks, buddy.
He and I used to have conversations about it. Now I think that he knew somebody that worked for them or something maybe, but similar to Tom.
But yeah, there
Lawler
was
cheering
there
for
was
the Titans.
there was a lot of people that we saw there. It was, and then we went to the GCW show, Black Label show, and we got there like right before Mance Warner versus Jerry Lawler, and that then just turned into our night until 5 in the morning.
Buckets of beers.
I want to throw out a quick shout out because as I did say, Tennessee Titans. Shout out to Frank, Tom Lawler's former corner man.
I don't think he's listening, but
Tom says
Frank.
he listens to podcasts sometimes.
Shout out to
still.
Frank.
I'm sure he's a very busy man. Though.
I was gonna see
working
if-
for the Tennessee Titans. They did pick up the victory over the Cleveland Browns.
I was going to
in
see
week
if he'd
one
get me some field tickets, but
here
Tom said probably not.
in Cleveland. So shout out to him. And I guess since Swaggle put you guys up, it's only right that we tell you to go pick up his book, now for sale. Life is short, and so am I. My life inside, outside, and under the wrestling ring.
He sold out the books by the time we got
yeah,
down there.
Yeah, so he had like advanced copies at
Yeah.
Starcast of his book. He sold fucking every one.
Yeah.
Good for him.
By the time we got down there to go
for
say
him.
what's up to him.
He sold like 75 books in a day.
Well,
Yeah.
he's got. I mean, honestly, from anybody, the outside looking in, he's got such an interesting life story. He really does, and has overcome quite a bit.
He could have fucking comped me one, I'll tell you that. But
You did get a free book?
no, he sold them all.
Yeah.
He sold every one of them.
Oh well, all right. Just only because if I'm sure that a free one's on the way.
He talks about me in there, I think. He fucking better at least.
Should be a free one on the way. You can get you.
Somebody buy that, read that book, and tell me if Swaggle fucking talks about me.
There it is.
Because if not, we're gonna have to
He
run
should
that
talk about-
absolution match back.
Oh.
AIW being the lifeblood of his resurgence.
I can't even book
There it
him
is.
anymore. He's getting so hot. He's not on.
Gonna have to cool him off, huh?
Yeah, he's not. No, all these dates I gave him, he can't do.
You're gonna have to give him the talk like, "Hey man, why don't you call me when you cool down and you're not so expensive?" Give him that chat. Give him
Yeah,
the old
I might
Marco
have to.
Stunt
He's-
conversation.
Yeah, he's getting a little too popular.
Damn.
So anyway, the rest of the summer. I mean, we could skip around. We don't just have to talk about
Yeah, this
Fight
is
TV,
Weak summer.
because
We're just talking. We're
I mean,
just talking shop.
look,
Oh
we-
yeah, so
we
so
watch you at the Odeon.
Yeah.
But
I kind of grazed over it, but yeah. So I wrote a blog on Patreon, just
Yeah.
kind of explaining how, because we lost some Patreon subscribers, and I think it's because the content was coming so fast and furiously, and then it kind of slowed down over the summer.
Right.
You know, there's still additional content, but it wasn't as much as there was in the winter and in the spring when we first launched it.
sure.
So I wrote a blog, and there was some personal stuff that went on, and if you're a Patreon person, you'll be able to read all about that in my blog. But the main thing that I pointed out in there was typically we run maybe 3 shows in the summer, and we did 6 this summer.
Yeah. What do we? Because usually JLIT is
In May.
May.
We maybe would run a bar show in June.
And then
July,
Absolution.
Absolution July,
And then Wrestle Rager.
Wrestle Rager, yeah.
Yeah, and we ended up with the JLIT weekend in June, which is 3, Sakimoto 4, Absolution 5, and Wrestle Rager 6. So we doubled the amount of shows that we were doing in the summertime, which is, there were just things that's just how it all kind of worked out. And as I said, what did I say? Nervously overprepared for 2020.
Yeah.
I think we're just probably gonna keep JLIT off of Memorial Day weekend, because I would assume since AEW did Labor Day back-to-back years, they're gonna do Memorial Day weekend back-to-back years.
Have we
Right.
we locked down that JLIT weekend already, right?
Yeah.
With the Odeon?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's worth mentioning because we always talk about we want people to plan an entire weekend around JLIT, and hell, if we know it almost a year in advance,
Yeah, if you have your 2020 calendar, the
Which-
Rip City edition.
If you got a
which-
smartphone, Rip City Edition 2020.
Yeah, if you got
Are you
one.
selling these?
Yeah.
What
so
do these look like?
You got to
don't
buy it
have
to
them.
find out.
Where are
January.
they?
We'll see you in January. So 2020 Rip City calendar. Mark the dates down now.
It's June 26th and June 27th.
There
Book
it is.
your accommodations. This is not a weekend you're going to want to miss.
June 26, 27
Of
I could give you one
2020.
these,
2020, baby.
I might try to get one of these Rip City calendars.
Hey,
How many
Well, we're-
Maseratis are on there?
That's how
we'll
we're.
work it out.
That's how we see, man. 2020. That's our vision.
2020, let's rock.
That's right. It's our
2020
year.
vision.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I tried to lock down a rough kind of outline of dates through 2020, which was another thing that I was working on, through the summer.
Yeah.
Typically we would kind of wait and see, where different promotions would do their shows and try to work around it. But the business is just getting so out of hand right now and so hectic and so busy. And
Right.
I just figured like, hey, let's lock some dates down, get some of our core crew, which is a lot of it is the homegrown guys at this point, and then we'll fill in the blanks later. So, I have February through the fall booked right now of 2020, and then so the Odeon does some, they do like an annual concert on Black Friday, which I would like to keep Black Friday. So, we will, like this year, we're going to move Black Friday to the Brook Park Rec Center, which is very, very reasonable to get to.
There it is.
They've held the wrestling events before, and, it's close to the airport. So November will probably have, Black Friday will probably have to move every year at the Odeon for as long as this band that they book every Black Friday is still in existence. But for the most part, we are going to be at the Odeon as full-time-ish as possible. And, I'm working on more Akron dates as well. And, we're open to going to new markets if, it's the right situation.
Yeah. We're in talks.
Dropping bombshells right now.
So if, you're out there and you operate a venue or something like that and you want AIW to come, shoot us an email and we'll see if we can make it work. AIW@AIWrestling.com.
2020, I'm ready for AIW. Just be my full-time gig, dude.
I just got a text.
I know.
I'm trying to
leave
lead
your government gig. I know.
No, I'm trying to kind of ease back the amount of dates because we did so many this year.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's good to be progressive about what's going on with wrestling. But I did just get a text. They said they like, it was one of my friends. They said, we like coming to the Winchester shows. Do we have more Winchester shows coming up?
Not yet, but there is the possibility of adding more Winchester.
Aside from, of course, next week, September 26th.
Next
Bad
Thursday?
Boys for Life. Next Thursday, Joey Janela's final AIW appearance.
Against Alex Shelley. Yeah, that's the...
I like he just nonchalantly drops that.
Yeah, come on.
So
Against Alex Shelley. Moving on.
So how the Winchester stuff kind of comes together is... And I think that, by default, we're going to have to add more Winchester shows in 2020 especially. Is just basically because we have so many students and not a lot of chances for them to get on the shows, and it's no offense to any of them, but some of the students just aren't at the caliber yet. They're brand new. So the thought is to possibly add some more Winchester dates in 2020, and we'll get we'll see how it goes. But as of right now, at this second, I've not added anything. Like the Winchester's kind of like, let's fill in the blanks. Once we find like a nice kind of gap in shows, and sometimes it doesn't work out that there's a gap.
Let me ask this, because I know that it's going to come up in conversations from other people, or probably somebody will hit it on Twitter or something. Would you be opposed to running the Winchester more than once a month to the point that it's like a build to the Odeon shows? Not necessarily weekly, but if it's every 2 weeks or something like that, and then maybe it goes on either independentwrestling.tv or a Patreon thing, like something that's more regularly watchable.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to make any sort of big time commitments to something like that because we don't, like I said, we don't know how the consumer is going to move in 2020. We are, what is it? This week does NXT debut live?
Wednesday.
So, we have NXT debuting, and then 2 weeks later we have AEW debuting, and Impact has moved to a new network, bought a network, whatever. MLW is running. What else? They signed Dominic Garrini. So it's like you don't know. You don't know how the consumer is going to move, and
we also kind of have to see how this Access TV, no pun intended, but impacts us in terms of talent. Because like a guy right now, Ethan Page,
We already can't book him that much, you know.
right.
So
now, do they decide that they do stuff even more exclusively?
well, and that's the thing is like, you know, it's like we don't know how much more talent is going to get locked down. We don't know if AEW is going to come to Cleveland, if
Right.
and when. We don't know when NXT is going to come to Cleveland, if and when. We don't
Right.
know if there's any WWE pay-per-views coming to Cleveland or Monday Night Raws or SmackDowns or whatever else, you know. So just in the amount of technically free content that's going to be available weekly at a gigantically higher tier than has ever been available before, it could either raise interest in wrestling, or it could be like, I've watched enough wrestling for the week, I'm going to go see a movie. You know,
Right.
I'm not going to go
Yeah.
to a live
I
wrestling
think
show.
we just need to start calling our shows parties instead of shows. Sometimes that feels more like what they are.
They
You
turn
know?
into 'em.
Like this Friday coming up is the last party of the summer, officially, with summer ending the very next day. Is tickets still available to Friday's party at the Odeon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As of right now, we still have a couple front row tickets available.
Oh, there you go.
As of this recording.
As
so,
of this recording.
And general admission, you know, so I know that we probably broke it down on a previous podcast with the new pricing for the Odeon, but, you know, general admission is not really taken into consideration when we say, like, hey, we have this many tickets left here and here, because
Yeah.
it's really just breaking down the preferred seating. I know that there's tons of people that love just walking up to the door with a $20 bill and,
Sure.
you know, they're going to stand if they have to stand, or they're going to buy a ticket.
Right.
They're going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some people do like the preferred seating. So, you know, as far as front row, there's still a couple of those left. And then, you know, there's definitely like multiple general admission rows.
Right.
You know, but those are just first come, first serve.
Stage seating sold out.
Yeah, stage seating sold out.
That's gone. And then our party on the 26th, limited tickets because we're going to be at the Winchester.
Yeah, it's much smaller, and that's another thing. You know, so you mentioned, would we do multiple shows a month there? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because like, I don't know if we could get if there was the demand for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know if there's a demand for that much wrestling in this kind of controlled, small-ish, big city. You know,
Right.
on top of doing a big ticket price, you know, talent, you know, whatever your price tag show, whatever you want to call it. But I definitely do think the Winchester shows do serve a purpose, and I think people enjoy going to them. And, you know, like, for example, you know, Session Moth, when she came in, we were able to add it at the Winchester. You know, same thing with Sakimoto. We were able to add it at a lower risk than if we were to run a gigantic venue. You know,
Right.
like, they seem to really like us. They like the amount of people that we can put in there on a Thursday night. They want us to do way more shows, but I do not want to. I do think that crowd burnout is a real thing as far as too many shows. I really don't believe in crowd burnout at a live show, because I think if there's something good, they're gonna come up for it. But you can burn out the local fan base.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I kind of want to space that stuff out. You know, I know some people say they want AIW weekly. I get a lot of tweets about that and comments, but I think that is a minority personally. You know, but who knows? You know, and if we get more venue offers in different markets, and we could do more shows. I just don't want to, you know, run Cleveland to death.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, shout out to Joey Janela, because when you talk about how we made those other shows work, he obviously helpful in making this show work. He wanted to be at Absolution. It's been documented. You know, you talked about, you mentioned it on Twitter. He couldn't, tried multiple different ways to get there, and didn't want that to be his ending with AIW.
Right. And, you know, he was that night like, hey, like, what can we do? Let's try to find a weeknight that works. And the Winchester had also contacted us. Like, you know, this show is definitely that show is definitely going to sell out, the
Right.
Joey Janela show.
So
we
get
are
your tickets, people.
You know, we are
ASAP.
we are. I am in negotiations to try to get it streamed on Fight.
Bombshells. Wes Barkley.
Bombshells.
But there's they don't have. There's just different. I want to. What's the word? You need like certain levels of internet available, and so we're seeing if they can kind of upgrade their package for the month or whatever, to where we can make it work. But as of right now, it's like not official. But after announcing that Alex Shelley match, we can only probably put 150, 200 people in there tops.
Yeah.
And we're getting close to that. So myself and Mike Burns are kind of looking into different options to see if we can get it streamed, because I know a lot of people want to see that match. But yeah, Joey Janela was like, let's try to pick a day, and the Winchester is, as soon as we do a show at the Winchester, they're asking us for more dates. And I like I said, I try to keep it at bay, as like a good option. And they just so happened to, they wanted something in late September or October. They still want us to do something in October, which I'm probably just gonna cool off on, with the 2 in September and 2 coming up in November. I'm just gonna kind of
we say that a lot. We're gonna take this month off.
Sometimes it's hard, but
right.
I do want to try to space stuff out, because the Akron show, it is going to, according to Cage Match, which, I'm sure there's some stuff on there some weird random shows that didn't make it up there, but the Akron show will be the 200th legitimate show.
Yeah.
Because we don't count the JT Memorial event as like an AIW event. That was more of a Cleveland All-Pro event. We just helped put it together.
Right.
And, there's probably been other shows that aren't, I'm aware.
That's what she does.
So there's probably other shows that are just she'll get down. My cat has jumped behind my TV
Again.
But there's probably other shows that didn't make it on Cage Match, and I forget so much stuff that I'm just gonna go with that. But 200 in Akron as well. So I kind of
$1 man, baby.
I kind of want to keep October open. I know some other promoters think I'm crazy, but I think Halloween is a gigantic form of competition. The whole month of October just has stuff to do.
Things, so we're running November 2nd. That weekend prior to, is kind of competitive.
I think the whole weekend of October is competitive because you have haunted houses, you have you have Cedar Point doing special stuff, you have Halloween parties, you have bar costume contests, you have strippers dressing up as something, ghosts on the at the strip club. You have there's something every single weekend in October.
Strippers dressing up.
Yeah,
concept.
Like Freddy Krueger and shit. I've seen it.
That's
so I just think that there's a lot of competition in October. We're giving people 2 shows in September, 2 shows in November.
Yeah.
There it is.
Two banger shows, two wild parties in September, possibly both on Fight TV, but for sure this Friday at the Odeon, September 20th, a huge party. Look, the Intense title is going to be defended. Matt Justice, the one-man militia, versus Old Master, Mance Warner himself. That's going to be wild.
But what I want to talk about, even though I said no Fonzie already, what I want to talk about is Dominic Guarini,
who joins us now,
taking on Alex Shelley.
There it is.
There's that.
One of Alex Shelley's first matches back in the game.
Man, this is one of those matches. I did a podcast yesterday, and they asked you about this match, and it's one of those that I never really thought that I would get. Most people who know me know I've been watching indie wrestling since 2005. So one of the first indie wrestling shirt I ever bought was a Gen Next shirt. So
Damn.
the group that Alex Shelley started in Ring of Honor. So when he came back, it was one of those things of like, man, I hope we get him. And then, the secondary thought is, I hope I get to wrestle him. And, they announced the match, and it's one that I'm really looking forward to.
Well, and here's the thing. Alex Shelley, if you are a longtime AIW fan, was on the losing end of a loser leaves town match against one Johnny Gargano, but when
Johnny
you're
Gargano
not in
left
town
town
anymore,
Yeah, Johnny Gargano left town.
Well, I mean, there's
Things
there's
changed.
semantics there.
Right, things changed. Come on back.
Johnny left, and as what R.I.P. in heaven, Johnny. We love you still. And then we left Mount Carmel. So was the band just a Mount Carmel band?
Wow.
That's the
true.
question.
It
You know,
could be. Maybe it was just to the Gordon Square area.
it was just
of
in the Gordon
Cleveland.
Square area. Sorry if you want to go to the new ramen place, Alex. You're banned from that area, I believe. Brew Nuts is out of the question for you too. But
You had no pinball either.
nope.
Well, at that time, it was Alex Shelley, I believe, was going full time with Ring of Honor, and it was thought to be, his last. It would
Yeah.
be his last appearance. And I don't know what happened, but I got a DM one day from Alex Shelley, and it was hard. It's hard to pass up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
For sure.
Absolutely.
It is a good priced talent, I'll say that, but it's hard to pass up. I've given him as many dates as I can that he will take. You have to assume that Alex Shelley is going to get a contract from one of these companies. He just came back. He did one Ring of Honor match and one other indie so far, I think, against Austin Aries. So you have to assume that he's probably going to get a contract. So maybe he'll just be leaving town yet again.
Has it been
Well-
4 years, 5 years since?
No.
3, maybe.
Only 3?
Yeah, only 3. But it was Shelley would have left in February, and then Johnny would have left in September.
Yeah, I think it's 3, maybe 2. I don't know.
That's why I was thinking that it was
Yeah.
the year before as opposed to the same year.
I mean,
that
you look
timeline.
at it. Alex Shelley. If there's a Mount Rushmore of indie wrestling, Alex Shelley is one of the guys on it in my mind.
Sure.
I mean, he's definitely one of those guys. The Punk, the Heroes, the Cabanas. That was kind of like traveling around. Like when you think of those old IWA and those old ROH shows, it's Shelley, Chris Sabin, Jimmy Jacobs.
I refereed
Hero.
an Alex Shelley Jimmy Jacobs match, and there was a third guy in it. I don't know who it was, but I was 17
Danny
years
Daniels?
old. No, I don't think so. I saw lots of Danny Daniels back in my days of indie wrestling. Delicious Devin Daniels. He had airbrushed hands on the ass of
I
his
love it.
singlet. But no, I was a referee for a while in like 2002 or 2001. I don't know, but I remember Gangrel was on the show, and
Bang and bang.
Yeah.
Yo,
I refereed a match.
bring Gangrel back.
I refereed a match. This is an interesting story. I refereed a match with Alex Shelley, Jimmy Jacobs when he had furry boots, and I don't know who the third guy was, but JT Lightning was there, and he asked Alex Shelley to, let me know how he does as a referee. And they said I did good. So then I started getting booked as a referee at Cleveland All Pro shows when I was like 17 years old. I had known JT for years, but we had kind of like a tumultuous relationship. But yeah, so that got me refereeing until I was like properly trained. I was refereeing at Cleveland All Pro because of myself and Sean Blaze were referees, as a matter of fact.
Will we see a return?
As a referee?
Yeah.
No.
Referee Dominic Guarini, Alex Shelley this
No,
Friday?
I don't think so.
No? All right.
The potato has already been petitioning and blowing my phone up to ref that match.
He's not
No.
reffing that. He's gonna no.
No,
He'll be. I keep telling Potato, which this will be a good throwback to All Out Weekend. I keep telling Potato I'm transferring him to the merchandising department so he can be the AIW Don West.
There it is.
Me and Wes, we
Shout
got
out to Don West.
we got some good time in with Don West when we were
Yeah.
out there.
Love it.
Good guy.
Legend.
At Wrestle Rager, Potato told me
Shout
that
out
he
to
was
Don
going to work
West.
the merch stand and referee
At the same time?
at the
Is that-
same time.
Oh yeah, he keeps saying like he's like a weirdo because he needs to be a talent of some aspect. So he was like, okay, I'll do merch sales, but like I still gotta get like 2 matches a show in, and like I'm like, who cares, man? We have 4 referees now.
Yeah. If you're down west, man, down west is just an important part of a show.
He's
It's-
just
it's
he needs to
genre.
say
For
like
sure.
he needs to say in his Tinder profile that he's a professional wrestling referee. I guess.
Maybe.
There it is.
Well, how about the one match we're glossing over? I'm sure we're winding down here, but I haven't talked about Big Twan and probably
Hey.
his dream tag team partner.
A highly emotional Big Twan when this match was told to him by John Thorne and myself. He
More emotional than Razor Sharp.
No,
in the
I was.
Gauntlet?
oh no, it was just me. You weren't there.
No, he read the sheet.
Razor
He
Sharp.
read
Where
the
it says-
sheet. You're right.
He read the sheet where
It
it,
was a
says
very Razor Sharp esque moment.
he read the sheet where it says the lineup where it said and make the challenge. Say you're not coming alone. You're coming with D'Lo Brown. And I guess Dom was there to witness this.
Yes, I was, and I was like, "Hey, just make sure you're gonna cut your promo after, and you say I'm not coming alone. I got backup. I got D'Lo Brown." And he's like, "Quit playing with me, Dom." I said, "What?" He said, "I ain't teaming with D'Lo, no way." And I said, "Yeah, you are." He's like, "You serious?" And I said, "I sure am, Twan," and a highly emotional Twan. I couldn't see if the tears were forming, but he was very excited. If it goes back, like, it's funny that 40 Acres has become what they've become because Big Twan pitched 40 Acres to Thorne over a year ago.
Yeah, not calling it 40
Not
acres.
calling it 40 Acres.
He
like,
wanted the AIW
yes,
version of the Nation of Domination.
Nation awoke.
Yeah, the Nation of Woke. He legitimately pitch this idea to Thorne.
Woke
And,
Nation, baby.
it went through some incarnations, and, Twan got himself over as a baby face, and, the 40 Acres crew was there, and they needed something, so we came up with that. But, to go from pitching the AIW Nation of Domination to get to team with a Nation of Domination member, it means a lot to Big Twan.
For sure.
Looking back, how crazy is it because of the way things have worked out now? Had that happened and Twan was in 40 Acres, he basically would be the Rock of that Nation of Domination.
He still might be the Rock.
Might still be the Rock, yeah.
Yeah.
Might
That's
turn.
fair.
Another match, so this show is stacked, honestly.
Stacked.
2 other things before we wind it down is it will be To Infinity and Beyond getting their rematch against PME this Friday night.
The old rematch clause?
Yes, they're
Wow.
they
They
Colin,
snake that on in there, huh?
So
No.
they could really piss some people off and get those right back.
Nope, it was no clause. Colin Delaney texted me and he said, "I bet they can't beat me twice."
Wow.
Oh.
So
Will Philly Collins be saying "Get the step in" come Friday night at the Odeon?
oh yeah, we never discussed that when Philly Collins thought that there was a run-in on a show and he
Well,
was-
an
it-
unannounced run in.
well, he thought that there was a fan running in, and it was really a run-in booked by
Plant.
the show, a plant. But nobody informed anyone else on the match that it was a plant. So Philly was hot.
We'll have to get him on to talk about that.
Oh yeah, he was so mad. And
Maybe I
then
planted him,
You
who
know,
knows?
of course, the main event this Friday night will be Tom Lawler taking on his favorite wrestler, KTB.
Whew.
Wow.
His favorite modern wrestler, KTB.
And they will not be fighting in the woods. They will be fighting in the Odeon, center of the ring.
In
it
the
is.
ring. Puny humans.
Did we talk about the farewell to AIW's first lady? Did I
Oh
miss
yeah,
that?
you got here late.
I'm
pal.
sorry. Sorry, we have
AIW sweetheart.
A lot of things going on at the academy tonight.
Yeah.
You got here late. So Fight TV, maybe Fight TV for the Bad Boy for Life show. We'll see. Keep an eye on our social media for that.
Joey Janela, Alex Shelley.
Negotiations ongoing. Alex Shelley versus Dominic Guarini this Friday night.
What a welcome back to AIW.
What'd you think?
for Alex
What'd you
Shelley.
think when I sent that to you, Dom?
I was like, oh shit. It was one of those it's up there on par with when you sent me the Zack Sabre Jr. graphic in all reality for me.
Did you feel like Big Twan teaming with D'Lo Brown?
No,
Similar,
it was one of those I think it was right before I was going over to lift, so I was like, oh, I really got to hit the weights now. So
You gonna be hitting training a little extra hard, doing some.
I'm doing some extra
Doing
mat
some
work,
extra
doing
mat
some
work,
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and a
All
lot
that
of people
stuff.
were saying Alex Shelley retired. I never thought he retired. He just
No.
basically said he was injured, but people
Yeah.
assumed it was retirement.
People made a real bad assumption on that, and literally the excitement for his Ring of Honor title match, and then the backlash of him losing that Ring of Honor title match was crazy. So, right
I don't
off
know that he has any more dates there.
I don't believe he does.
So that's why, he hasn't said anything to me, but I'm trying to get him booked on as many of the upcoming shows as possible. Just because if any one of these companies is looking for a free agent, he has got to be pretty up there in the depth chart of who they would want to sign.
Will there be a reunion potentially then at Hell on Earth?
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
leaving that.
We're talking about
hanging
this
out there.
Friday.
I'm just leaving that hanging out there.
Odeon.
As that pops in
We'll
my
talk
head.
about paparazzi productions another day.
Ooh-wee.
Well, listen, I think that pretty much covers it. We talked to you about our summer. We talked about what's coming up. Friday, once again, at the Odeon. There are still tickets available. Shop.aiwrestling.com. Easiest way to then go to the Eventbrite.
Yeah, or
Other than our social media.
The link is all over social media.
Yeah.
Instagram stories
At
all
AI
around.
Wrestling.
Friday,
Twitter
don't
and
miss it.
Instagram.
Get there. These Odeon shows are so much fun, and
Yep.
honestly, it's really become the kind of the AIW arena.
Yeah.
and it's got a special feel to it. So please come out and support
After party at
shows
Good
like
Company
this.
again.
Yes,
Here it is.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jonah.
I've
guy.
been listening to a lot of Jonah's podcasts lately. I'm gonna tell you what.
He's a producer.
Well, he's on it though. He's a
Yeah.
talent,
Right.
and I'm gonna tell you,
He's the man behind the glass.
this is Pod Van Ed.
He's something, huh?
I don't know about this guy. I've been listening to this podcast the last couple days. I don't know.
He's something else, man.
I don't know if I'm a fan.
He's clean now, too. That's the crazy thing.
He ain't clean.
Wasn't he hammered at Wrestle Rager?
That was
No,
one
no,
year,
he says
he said.
that's like his one
One
out a
cheat
year.
meal.
He's
Yeah,
not
his
clean.
one
That's
cheat
his
day.
cheat meal. Yeah.
He along with somebody else told me
That guy
said
looks
one day
like
a
he
year.
does drugs.
Sheesh.
Okay, well,
All right.
I think that's a hell of a way to end it.
Hey, also $12.99 on Fight TV. Don't forget about that. And then September 26th, we are at the Winchester.
Hulk
Hurry
Hogan's
up.
not going to show up, but pretend I said he would, so you buy it.
There you go.
Brother.
26th
We're watching-
at the Winchester.
We're watching Halloween Havoc 1994.
Grab those tickets as well because they will sell out for Joey Janela's farewell at AIW. And we'll see you guys when we see you. And for Dominic Guarini, for Maserati, Wes Barkley, for AIW owner John Thorne, my name's Steve Guy. We'll
This
talk
could be
to
the
you.
last time you hear Wes Barkley alive, so everybody savor this.
That's fair. Do you want a final word there?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name's Steve Guy. We'll talk to you next week right here on AIW's The Card is Going to Change.